What's up guys, Carmine here, back again once again to talk about House of the Dragon, this time for the final non-spoiler review of Season 1, and, as always, shout out to the Telemundo for that review copy. Muchas gracias, mi amigos, you guys are fantastico. But Episode 10. It's an interesting one, in that there were quite a few weird decisions to not only the characters, but also the editing for one person in specific. And the one thing that really stood out to me with this finale is that for a final episode to a season, it didn't really feel like one. Let's get into it. Before that, this video is brought to you by Atlas VPN, the fantastic service designed with privacy and security in mind. Not only does Atlas VPN keep you protected while browsing and shopping online, its blazing fast speeds and easy-to-use interface allow you to use the internet with confidence by protecting your IP from nasty scammers. They even have an Apple and Android app for on-the-go protection. And if you're like me and you want to catch the latest episode of Better Call Saul, but it's not available in your country, that's okay, because with Atlas you can switch on over to Netflix from the UK and catch up on the latest episodes. It even works with Hulu and HBO too, and now that Game of Thrones is back with House of the Dragon, this is a perfect opportunity you can't miss out on. Right now, they're running a huge discount, and if you use my link in the description below, you can get 82% off a 3-year plan, plus 3 months for free. That's a little more than a cup of coffee a day for your peace of mind. Once again, definitely check out Atlas VPN, and be sure to head on over to the description below, and use my link to get 82% off a 3-year plan, plus 3 months for free. Thank you, Atlas. So first things first, yes, I am aware that the episode leaked. It's unfortunate, but these things tend to happen. However, I will still be watching episode 10 on premiere night because not only do I want to support HBO, even though they've been on my ass this entire season, but I want to support the show because it's been very good from start to finish, despite some flaws, of course. And it's always fun watching it together with everyone in live tweeting. Plus, I paid for the damn service, so I'm gonna use it. But with that out of the way, this episode, I liked it. But I feel as though I would have liked it a bit more had they not done such weird and choppy editing decisions, specifically with Daemon, which we'll get into in a moment. But for the most part, the episode was actually good. I know a lot of the fandom already hates some of the decisions the showrunners have made for some of the characters, which I won't be going into too much detail here since this is the non-spoiler review. But honestly, after watching it and sitting on the idea for a bit, I'm warming up to it just a little, but that may change for the episode 10 spoiler review in the coming days. For those of you who already saw it, you know what I'm talking about in regards to that final scene of the episode. I'm mixed on that, but this episode was shot very well. I do like the questions it presented for us. For the good of the realm, should we avoid war or set everything on fire to right all the wrongs done to us? The other thing I really liked about the episode was the lore. You guys know me, I'm a huge nerd for this stuff, and as a book fan, it's always a treat when they reference some characters and moments from the source material, which we get here. And because war is on the horizon due to the events of episode 9, everyone is obviously going to prepare for that, and we get some good old-fashioned family names that we all remember from the original Game of Thrones. Most of them were absent for this season, and that's to be expected, because this is mostly set up in a Targaryen-centric story, so any other families besides the Hightowers and Velaryons aren't going to get the same attention they did before. But let's talk Daemon for a second, who got a lot of weird moments this episode. He does some pretty questionable things here, and I have to wonder if the fandom is going to walk away from this episode more devoted to the character or against him, and I can't help but think that the writers are trying to make you dislike this guy because, according to a lot of the earlier leaks that we got for this episode from very credible sources, Daemon was different, to say the least. Apparently someone saw a rough cut of the episodes as they were being made and reported on what they saw, but by the time the show came out, quite a few things had been changed or removed, and I won't go into it too much here, but it reminded me of the deleted scene from episode 6 showing Daemon hugging his children, and I'll leave it at that. Once again, I want to go into this, but because this is the non-spoiler review, I'll hold off, but just know that some of the scenes have been deleted or outright moved around to make you feel a certain type of way about Daemon. What I haven't been able to figure out is if they have a bias against the character and are trying to make him more of a douchebag bad boy, which is either a good thing or a bad thing depending on your point of view. That's not to say that Daemon didn't have any good scenes this episode. He did, specifically on the Dragonstone walkway area that we saw in episode 2. I can discuss this because this was in the preview. It was actually one of the highlights of the episode for me, and he comes in with one of the best lines of the season as well, which I thought was actually great. The other thing I wanted to discuss this episode was the final 10 minutes of it, which was absolutely incredible, and you see bits of it in the preview where we see one of Rhaenyra's sons in a certain location, and we can see Aemon's dragon Vhagar in the background as well, looming like a monster in the storm. It felt like a scene out of Jurassic Park, which was awesome. We also get Aemon in this episode too, of course, which he has a moment where he removes his eye patch, and we get to see what he's hiding there, and the person I watched the episode with was weirded out by it, but it'd be interesting to see casual fans' response to it because I saw a lot of people who were creeped out by it, and some even laughed. But, of course, we will have that confrontation with him and one of Rhaenyra's kids, as we saw in the preview, and it was very, very well done. The visuals of the dragons, the setting, everything was perfect, though there are two things I do have to mention. The source material is a second-hand account of what happened between these two characters, and the showrunners play with this a little. Once again, I don't know how I feel about this change, because there's a bit of a change here, but I am warming up to the idea. Let's just say that Aemon may look like an anime villain, but he's probably maybe not the anime villain we wanted him to be. I'm very curious to see where they take the character going forward into Season 2. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the dragons and how people ride them can control them effectively or not. What I'm most interested in is the conversation about the psychic connection between dragon and rider, and if that feeds on the emotions of either of them. Kind of like how, in Star Wars, the Sith tap into their emotions and instincts for more power, and I look forward to having that discussion in the spoiler review. But overall, I liked the episode. I thought it was very enjoyable, and it had a lot of great moments that really set it aside from the rest of the season. The one thing I will say I didn't really like that much was how it ends, because it kinda just ends abruptly, and that worries me a little because, as you're all well aware, an ending to the first season is one of the major things you gotta get correct, and just the way this ends is very, I don't know, bland? I don't know. Major crazy stuff happens, of course, and then we have a minor reaction to it at the very end, and then end credits. If anything, this felt like the episode 9 to the season rather than the finale. George R. R. Martin had a blog post a while ago about how they originally discussed making the first season 12 to 13 episodes, and yeah, they really should have done that. But at the same time, how do you end this season? It was easy for Game of Thrones Season 1 because, my god, that final shot of Dany and the dragons, ugh, Jesus, so well executed, so well done. Even Season 2 had a great finale there as well. Here, I don't know. I don't know. How do you end this? Like, I don't envy the showrunners at all because they're making the best out of a bad situation. Game of Thrones was a storybook that Dave and Dan adapted, right? The ending was just right there for them. Showrunner Ryan Condal has to comb a history book filled with dry moments on how to end this. So, yeah, look, and I have to repeat this because I know there's always some knuckleheads listening to this. I didn't dislike the episode, actually, far from it. There are a lot of great moments here for almost all the characters, specifically Rhaenyra, but that ending here just seems so abrupt and out of left field that I really wish, in hindsight, that they made some more episodes. If anything, this felt like the dreaded episode I always go on about, where major events happen and it changes everything going forward. This is like Ned Stark's beheading level crazy, and I really wanted to see the aftermath of it and how everyone reacts to it. But at the same time, I guess that's a good thing because I wanted to see more, and that means the show did its job in keeping us excited for what's to come, so bravo to them. But guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please leave your thoughts down below and let me know what you're most excited for the final episode, of course. And be sure to come back here and let me know what you thought of it overall. I may cover it in the next video. But as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already to help out the channel. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.